Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. In the last video, we are creating the mailbox, and in this video, we'll be continuing that creating the mailbox. We'll connect with the smart contracts with the front end to set up to see all the mails and create the mails. So now we want to set up our mailbox. What we want, let's create a layout for our app. Once the layout is done, we will be showing this layer. We'll be setting up our component like that. We'll create a nav bar, and here we'll add a position. Position is fixed, top 0 and left 0, right 0, and we also want it to have a width. Let's give it a 5 RDM width, and I will be putting this component here. We'll have 3 components. So before that, let's make the display flex. So okay, and we'll have logo component, or logo component. We have a base component, and we have the buttons component. In this buttons component, we'll be placing this one, and the spacer component will have some special style. Flex 1, flex 1. Let's see, it should have placed our button at the very beginning. Okay, let's see why this is not putting the spacer. And yeah, this is our nav bar, and the nav bar is not good. Okay, so we'll have all these. Fine, we don't want this. Okay, we don't want these things or logo stuff. So these are the stuff that was already there with our app. What we want here is body and HTML should have minimum width view 100% and minimum height as viewport 100 viewport height. So that way we will have HTML and body. Yeah, so okay, and the app will have same here. This way we will with 100% viewport width. Yeah, so now we have the entire stuff. Yeah, so let me just put this position relative. Okay, left 0, top 0, right 0. Solution absolute. Oh, so the problem was I have placed width as width, it will be height. Okay, so we have our button here. We'll call this logo as dmail. We have a dmail. Let's call the logo and style the logo. Font size is 2 RDM, and we want the nav bar to have a padding of 1 RDM/2 RDM. Okay, and the logo should have a font weight of bold, yeah, and font is font family Roboto. Or whatever, you can style it however you want. I'll just use AIL. Yeah, now we have a button, we have our logo. What we want our mail application to be loaded in the center. So we will need a mail view component just like the Gmail, and we need a mail list component almost similar to not Gmail, almost similar to the Outlook. And we will also need a new mail component. So let's create these three component. New file, mails list .tsx, RFC. So we'll create a new mail component, mail list component. So this mail list component will show us all the list of mails that the user has received. Let me put some styling here. Okay, so first we'll create an interface for the properties. We need to create one mail item. So mail item will have a number, ID, mail ID, from address, body, and once we decrypt the message, we'll have a decrypted message. So these are the things that we want in our mail item. Okay, let's add PRO props, PROPS props, and this will be okay. So we have to set up the props. We will need contract. Okay, yeah. Now we will need to have some states. We want the mail items to be loaded in the state. We want some offset because we might be will not be loading all the mails at once, and we will need to have a identifier to see if it is loading or is loaded. Okay, we will have a variable to know how many mails to load at once. Step have 1000. Let's say we want 1000 mails to be loaded at once. And now let's create a function to fetch mails. Fetch mails equals async function. Async So we will need to create a properties. We'll be checking if the contract is present or not. Props dot account. We'll also need the account to be present. And now we'll create a filter to check to filter out only the mail that we want to see in our mailbox. We can have all the mails, but that will not be useful for us. We only want to have the mails that sent to us. So we will create a filter, and we will be filtering the whatever has been emitted by this sent event from the contract, and we will be filtering the from address with our own account address. So to create a filter, we will be using the contract and the dot filters, and in the filters we'll use send filter, and we want the send filter. We don't want the from address, sorry. We want the to address to be our own address. So first filter, we want null. We don't want to put any filter here, but for second filter we want to use our own account. Once we have the filter ready, we can execute we have to first we have to get the provider, and we can execute the query. Okay, let's have this now. Okay, we have initialized a provider, the Web3 provider, and using the Web3 provider we can get the latest block number that is currently present in the block, and from that block number we are going to we have to give the from block address to block address to query the filter. We can query the entire blockchain, but that will actually slow down the server, and it will also slow down your MetaMask. So we will query the mails in a chunk. So this is the filter. Then you have to specify the from block, and you have to specify the to block. So the from block is whatever the current block is, then minus the offset and the steps that we want to get all at once, and the to address is the current block minus the offset. So what we'll do, whenever we load more mails, we will just increase the offset with the step. We have the results in this variable. Now we will be getting the values in encoded format. What we want to do, we want to decode that, and we will be saving the value in this interface or in this format. So what we will do, we will create a function called format list. Okay, this function, okay, let me just add it as this doesn't need to be an async function. We can have a regular function here, and in this format list we will be list or data list. We call it data list, and this will be any. Okay, and we want to format this with a list formatted list, and this will be mail item, list of mail item equals data list dot map, and in this each item we will be formatting if item dot decode, if item has a decode function, then we will decode the object, or else we will just return null. This is the structure how you can decode the message from the event, from the sent event. All these parameters will be encoded in a hash, in a hex format. So we have a way to decode that to get the exact value, and by supplying these parameters we'll be able to get the decoded value. And because we have the formatted the parameters name with underscores, and we want this parameters name to be in this format, we will just have to write it down in manually. So what we will do, we will create an object and we will give id. Id will be data dot data underscore id. And because this is a address, or this is a big unsigned 256 integer, this will come as a big number. So we want it to be a JavaScript number. This will be a big number, big number, and it will be dot from dot to big number. Okay, now we can convert this to number. Rest of the stuff can be as simple as get the data, this will be from as string. Okay, and this is comma, this is comma, and we also need to address underscore to a string. What else we need? We need the body. Okay, we don't need the to address, we only need the body, so it will be body. So body is not like this, body will be in value. Okay, we have our data ready for fetched formatted list. And what we will do, we will finish this function. 1 minute. So this is the function finished. We will filter all the nulls. X not equals to null, and we will force cast it to a mail item string list. So this way it will format everything in our desired format and it will return that. We have to return this, return formatted list. Okay, now we have the result. We will just format this result. Let fetched items equals formatted format list results dot, and the result will always be from whichever has happened first will come at the top, but what we want in our list is whichever has happened last will want that in the top, and the which mail has come earlier will come down. So we want to reverse the list. Set items, let's set these values. Old items, and in this case we want to whenever we fetch the mail, we want to concatenate the extra mails and in the whatever value we already have fetched. So it will be if fetched fetched items dot length equals 0, then we can return old items. There is no new items to fetch. If old items dot length equals 0, then we can return the fetched items. There is no need to return the old items. And if old item dot length -1, if the last item of the old item is the same as the first item of the old item, first item of the new items, which is the fetched item, is same, then there is no need to fetch the items. So it will be equals fet fetched items. These are some extra conditions that if you want you can add, but even if you don't add, it will still work. I don't want any duplicate mails to be populated in my mail list. If the last item in the old item is the same as the last item in the fetched item, then that means it's a duplicate. We don't need this. At the end, just concatenate both lists. So it will be old items first, then fetched items at the end. So we'll be setting these items now. We have the main two functions ready. Now we will use the use effect for hooks to populate the list. If props.contract so what we want at the initial is, when we fetch the mail, that is our deliberate approach, but if there is any new mail that has been received during the while we have our application open, we also want that to be loaded automatically without us clicking the load button. So to do that, we will have to subscribe to the event as well. So to subscribe to the event, we will have to create the filter as well. So what we will do, we will get this filter again. Once we have the filter, we will have there is an on event in the contract, where I can provide the filter, and I can get a callback with all the values, which are these. And in this, we can perform just append this value to the mail list or our items. Let's add a new mail. Okay, so we'll format this data and we will just add a new mail to the mail list. This is same as the other one. And we want this to be called only if the props.contract change or props.account change. Now we'll be using the use effect for the basic initialization. We will set the loading as a true, and we will fetch the mails. Once the mails are fetched, we will set the loading. as false. And we will fetch whenever the offset is changed. So we will have a button to change the offset, and whenever there is an update in the offset, we will again fetch the mail to update the mail list. Now what we will do, we will have a container, and inside the container we will have let's have a title called all mails, and let's put these components in the app so that we get to see what is happening here while we mail box. Let's call a mail, create a mailbox, and inside the mailbox we have these. First we need the mail list, mails list, and in the mails list, what are the things that we want? We want the contract, we want the account, we want on select contract we want account undefined. So account, this is null or undefined. Where is the undefined or null? Okay, so I have specified we also need on select function. On select we have to get the mail item. On select we will send a mail item, and once this mail item is selected, we will show this mail item to the mail view component. So that is still we have to do that. Before that we will just set up all the mail view component. We will need new mail component. Okay, let's style this up. Margin. Okay, let me put some styles here. We want it to be a grid, so yeah, so we'll have a grid, and let's have a spacer on the top. Margin top, we'll call it, we'll have 10 REM. Not sure why the margin is coming for this as well. App has the position relative, padding 1 px. Okay, let's add some padding in the app. Padding 1 px. Okay, and in the mailbox we will also have some. In the mailbox we will also have some padding, or we already have a gap, but let's have a padding as well. Padding 5 RDM. Okay, okay, so not sure how this will have. This margin top at the padding top 10 REM. Okay, Not sure why this is not. Let me refresh this. I think I have already registered, so this should come up correctly. Registered is registered. Setup should call is registered with the value. So let me check the setup function. Get public. Okay, so get public key should be called. Okay, so this, whenever we refresh the page, it's not automatically identifying if the user is registered or not. That is because in the setup function we have to call on use effect, and inside the use effect we will just check if props.contract, then just call get public key. So if we find a public key, then it will automatically identify it is registered. If the public key doesn't find, it will not set the register true. Okay, now we have our mails and mail view and new mail. What we will do, we will get the mail list. We will save this. Okay, we have all mail section. We need to have we will have some spans to show how many mails will be loaded. Okay, we will have some styles for the container so that we can see what is happening here. Yeah, and once we have all these, we will have a list object. After this, we will have a list container, and inside this container we will load all our objects, all our items. So the items dot map item. So we will be returning this mail item, and what we want to have some functions attached to this mail item, like on click we want to stop the propagation, prevent default, and we will call the on select function. And inside the div we want the value of the item id, and we also want the item from whom the mail has come, item. So we will not be able to store all entire, will not be able to show the entire id, because it will automatically come up, it will be too long. So what we'll do, please have it. Okay, and inside item dot from dot substring, in the substring we will have the last item. The substring function, it will be like this. Okay, let's see how this looks. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and you can get the next video of the series somewhere around here or here.